The following video discusses and shows leaked footage from Star vs. the Forces of Evil Season 3. While I do not condone the leaking of said footage, I will be showing it in this video for the sake of this analysis. Please support the official release when it eventually does come. Thank you. Hey everybody, it's the Lyoko Gem, here to bring you an all-new video. And this time around, we're going to be getting a little weird and a little wild as we talk about Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and that little snippet of the Season 3 opening that we just got. And I gotta say that it's super exciting to finally be seeing even a little bit of this. So in this video, we'll be going over what little things I saw in the opening and what they could mean for Season 3 of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. So, let's begin. From the part that we begin, we find Star and Marco together atop Miss Heinous' car that we first saw in the episode simply entitled Heinous, with Gemini in the back of the trunk since you can see the glow of his eye. Then, Miss Heinous opens the car door, only for Marco and Star to jump into the next dimension. In this scene, from the looks of things, Heinous and Gemini are still in the same spot that they were in that same episode. This could mean that things probably didn't work out for Miss Heinous and she's still homeless with Gemini, thanks to Marco's video not working, the miracles that she had hoped. Also, the lack of Rasticor in the shot could mean that he's still regenerating, at least at the beginning of the season, and that we'll be seeing him later on. But it could also mean that they're not ready to show him off in the beginning of the opening, given that it would be way too soon. Either way, I hope that we hear from the big bad bounty hunter this season. Next up, Star and Marco jump into another dimension with crystals and some other floating stuff in the background, with a staircase also present. While I'm not quite sure which dimension this is, it does remind me of the same one we found Lekma and Romulus in the episode Crystal Clear. I don't think it's that dimension, but it's what it reminded me of. But one of the more interesting things is this particular figure floating above a rock that depicts a symbol of a moon. With the moon symbol, that immediately makes me think of Queen Butterfly due to her name being, well, Moon. However, in no way does that really match her frame. But who it does resemble is Queen Eclipsa, as we can see the hat, tufts of hair on the sides, and the very obvious fact that the character is wearing a dress, which also seems to match the length of her sleeves. But this is going off the one depiction we've seen of her from the episode Into the Wand. It could be just about anyone, but I personally think is Eclipsa. And seeing as she was in Romulus' dimension before in the episode Crystal Clear, perhaps it could be that dimension after all. Regardless of whoever or wherever this is, if they're in the opening, they're definitely going to be very important to the season, especially since this appears to be the last dimension Star and Marco go to. Either way, I think this last dimension is going to be the scene of some sort of battle between Star, Marco, and the rest of the crew, versus Ludo Toffee, as evidenced by the next part. In the next part, Star and Marco hop off the staircase, only for Star to point up into the sky. There, we see our good old-fashioned evil trio, Ludo, his eagle, the spider, and joining them is Glossaric in his classic meditative pose. Ludo is very obviously possessed by Toffee in this scene, judging by his possessed eyes, and although we can't see it very well, it appears Ludo is giving a very calm and assured smile that is very out of character for Ludo, but incredibly in character for, well, Toffee. So judging from this, that's why I think this area is important, and why it'll be the setting for a big battle. Perhaps this hints at Toffee's goals this season. He might be after what I believe to be Eclipsa, and Star, Marco, and the others are going to make sure that she doesn't get to her. We then get a shot back to Star and Marco. Marco is in his classic karate boy pose. While we can't quite see the looks on their faces, we see that Star's brows are furrowed. So probably in determination, knowing her character. However, for Marco, who also has his brows furrowed, honestly, to me he looks fearful, although I can't quite tell. And Star does her classic Blast of the Wand, where we see a few of her spells showcased. The most notable being our good old friend, Spider with the top hat, and a butterfly we see at the very end. Then, of course, we have a scene on the moon. Or should I say, Mune? I am so sorry. Anyways, there we see our good friend Jana lazily kicking her feet before Star drops in that classic theme song style. And things change a little when our boy Marco slides on in, sporting a pretty snazzy cape. Anywho, then we have Tom Ponyhead, and although we can't see her very well from here, from a description of this theme given by a user on Tumblr, which I'll link in the description below, we can tell it's Kelly. But on the note of that post, they said it was a very Avenger-like group shot, and I can see what they mean, with Tom thinking that he's Tony Stark over there. But yeah, that's the intro when we see them all pose and we get that wand zoom in on the logo. Honestly, this means that all the characters from that particular part are definitely getting larger roles this season, due to their specific inclusion rather than the whole cast group shot in the previous seasons. With that being said, I am incredibly excited for Season 3. Little things that I just loved from this is, from what we can see, the animation still looks as crisp and fluid as always, and that we're going to have a big team up against our big bad threat, Toffee. Super excited for what this is going to bring in the future, and I'm looking forward to what we'll be seeing from the show later on. With that being said, that's my analysis and thoughts on the Star vs. the Forces of Evil main theme for Season 2. I hope you all enjoyed the thoughts and ideas that I brought up in the video. Did I miss anything in particular that you did notice? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, then please give me a like and subscribe for more Star vs. the Forces of Evil content. With all that being said, this has been Leoko Gem, who for the moment is done being a little weird and wild, a warping out.